Okay, so hi everyone. This will be about the world of regions. So, cover na to ng ating semifinals to finals. Okay, so this is module number 5. So, our topic is about world of regions. So, class, when we say regions, regions are dynamic, okay, changing. So this is a two-way process of people's activities, changing their environment, and people being affected by their environment. So it is created by people responding to the opportunities and constraints presented by their environment. Okay, so that is what we mean by regions. Regions, according to Peter Katzenstein, these are interacting closely with an American imperium that combines territorial and non-territorial powers. So literally, regions are a large size territory, such as countries, provinces, or large sections of countries that encompasses many places, okay, which share a set of attributes of places. So in short, it is a group of countries in the same geographically specified area. For example, here in the Philippines, diba, we have different provinces and different regions, okay? So Peter Katzenstein argues that globalization and internationalization create open or porous regions. So here, regions must provide solution to the contradictions between states and markets, and also security, nationalism, and cosmopolitanism. So embodied in the American Imperium, regions are now central to world's polities. So regions are not natural, okay? You need to remember that regions are not natural or given. Rather, they are constructed and defined by the policymakers, not only by the policymakers, but also by the economic actors and even social movements. So that is how Peter Katzenstein defined region, okay, or regions. How about what is meant by global divides? Okay, so the global digital divide describes global disparities, okay, primarily between developed and developing countries in regards to access to computing and information resources such as the internet and the opportunities derived from such access. So the North and South divide is actually a socio-economic and political division. So, hindi siya geographically. Okay? It is based from socio-economic and political division that exists between the wealthy developed countries, which is known collectively as the North, and the poorer developing countries or the least developed countries na sinasabi natin, which is known as the South. So the global divide is caused by political power, okay, economic dependency, and the importation and exportation of resources. So yung mga poor countries which are dependent dun sa mga more powerful countries, bakit? Because of the debt, okay? Yung mga utang, okay? Foreign aid or foreign assistance na tinatawag, and domination by the more powerful governments using economic and cultural influences. So why did the North and South divide? So the idea of categorizing countries by their economic and developmental status began during the Cold War. So I already discussed during the previous discussion what is meant by Cold War, okay, with classifications of East and West. So remember, the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China represented the developing East, and the United States and their allies represented the more developed west. Okay, so although most nations comprising the north are in fact located in the northern hemisphere, so that's why the divide is not primarily defined by geography, as I mentioned earlier. So as nations become economically developed, they may become part of the north regardless of their geographical location, while any other nations which do not qualify for developed status, okay, are in effect deemed to be part of the south. That's why that's how the north and the south was divided. So the global divides the north and the south, okay? So generally, definitions of the north include North American countries, okay? So the US and Canada, the European countries, Israel, and developed parts of East Asia. So the South is made up of Latin America, okay, African countries, and developing Asia. So the North is home of the four, okay, which is composed of the USA, France, Russia, and UK. And of the five, okay, People's Republic of China class is actually part of the five leading emerging economies, okay, which includes Brazil, India, Mexico, and South Africa. Okay, so these are countries who are permanent members of the UN Security Council. And of course, yung lahat ng members ng tinatawag ring G8. Okay, so when we say G8 class, these are the highly industrialized countries. Okay, so the G8 is composed of Canada, Japan, France, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, and of course, Russia and the USA. Okay, so sila yung tinatawag na G8. So the global divides, still we're on the global divides, the North and the South. So this division actually depends on wealth accumulation, okay, of specific countries. So wealth accumulation depends on the meeting of basic needs, okay, uh, such as access to food, okay, water, uh, of course, education, shelter, and healthcare. Okay, so one of the reasons why the South countries are very left behind with the North is because they cannot sustain meeting their population's basic needs. Okay, and of course, also war is included, which has been a major impediment to meeting the basic needs, okay, of the citizens. Actually, class, there are institutions that help in reducing the gap between the North and the South. Okay, we have the World Bank, the IMF or the International Monetary Fund. We have the United Nations and the G20. Okay, so the international community has made significant strides towards lifting people out of poverty. Okay? So as nations become economically developed, they may become part of the North nga, sabi, di ba? Then regardless of geographical location. However, inequality still persists and large disparities remain in access to health and education services and other assets. Like for example, yung mga situations na mga many Filipinos working abroad, okay? So they are suffering from discrimination and limited access of what other rich countries enjoy, okay? So the global south is a term that has been emerging in the transnational and post-colonial studies. So to refer to what may also be called as the third world countries or the LDCs na tinatawag or the least developed countries. So Global South is more than the extension of a metaphor for underdeveloped countries. So we have the three worlds theory, okay? So the first world, the second world, and the third world countries, okay? So we already discussed this part, but again, these three are also known as the developed, developing, and underdeveloped countries or blocks, okay? So Asian regionalism. Okay, so Asian regionalism is the product of economic interaction, not political planning. Okay, as a result of successful outward-oriented growth strategies, Asian economies have grown not only richer but also closer together. Okay, so regionalism is examined in relation to identities. Okay, not only identities, but of course, it also include ethics. What else? Religion. Okay, and ecological sustainability and even health. Okay, so Asian regionalism is also a process, and it must be treated as an emergent socially constituted phenomenon. Okay, so the Asian regionalism is, sabi ko nga, a process. Okay, why? It is a process because it is actually one way of dividing the area into smaller segments, which is called regions. Okay, example, yung divisions of nation into states or provinces. Okay, so we can also define regionalism as a political process. Okay, like what I've said in the previous slides, it characterized by economic policy, cooperation, and coordination among countries. Okay, actually, class, the regionalization have different classifications. Okay, so we have what we call the logical division, the grouping, the homogeneity. Okay, and under the homogeneity, we have the formal regions and the functional regions. When we say formal regions, these are highly degree of homogeneity. Okay, and when we say functional regions, it is characterized by functional organization of human occupancy. Okay, that is why regionalization refers as the social integration and the often undirected process of social and economic interaction. Okay, so regionalism versus globalization. So regionalism is the process of dividing an area into smaller segments called regions. Then globalization is the process of international integration arising from the interchange of worldviews, products, ideas, and other aspects such as technology, di ba? Masyado siyang broad, okay? As to nature, as to market, as to cultural and societal relations, as to aid, and as to technological advances. Okay, so we already discussed the difference between regionalism and globalization. Okay, but how about the difference between uh, regionalization and regionalism? Okay, so ano nga ba yung pagkakaiba between regionalization and regionalism? So the words regionalization and regionalism should not be interchanged. Okay, so when we say regionalization, it refers to the regional concentration of economic flows. Okay, while regionalism, it is a political process characterized by economic policy, cooperation, and coordination among countries. Okay? So countries respond economically, okay, hindi lang economically, but of course politically, to globalization in various ways, okay? Uh, for example, some are large enough and some have a lot of resources to dictate how they participate in processes of global integration. So halimbawa si China, di ba? China offers cheap and huge workforce. They're doing that to attract foreign businesses and of course to expand trade with countries that once considered enemies. But now they see it as markets for its goods like US and Japan. So also other countries make up for their small size, okay? By taking advantage dun sa mga strategic location. Halimbawa is Singapore and Switzerland, okay? Singapore and Switzerland compensate for their lack of resources by turning themselves into financial and banking hubs, okay? So meaning they are utilized and they are managing their resources and using it as an opportunity, okay? So kaya mga yan, di ba makikita nyo, Singapore developed its harbor facilities, okay, which made them as a first-class transit port for ships carrying different commodities, okay, from Africa, Europe, okay, di ba? Di lang Africa and Europe, also Middle East, and its mainland, Southeast Asia. So regionalism integration, it is actually a process in which neighboring states enter into an agreement in order to upgrade cooperation through common institutions and rules, okay? So in most cases, okay, so however, countries form a regional alliance for, sabi nga nila, as saying goes, there is strength in numbers. So, syempre, di ba, kapag the more that you have more alliances, so, iba parang mas lumalakas yung puwersa mo dahil mas lumalakas yung power mo, okay, as a country. So, kaya yun yung tinatawag na itong process na to, the regionalism integration. So now, let's have this one. So why do we need to form regional associations? Okay, so we have actually 4 reasons here. Okay, first we have the military defense. Second is the pooling of resources. Then third is to protect independence from the pressures of superpower politics. And the last is the economic crisis. So I have here some examples, okay? For example, under the military defense, we have NATO, or what we call the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Warsaw Pact, okay? So under the pooling of resources, we have the OPEC, or the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. While under the Protect Independence, we have the NAM, or the Non-Aligned Movement. And under the economic crisis, we have this yung Thai economy in year 1996. So, kumbaga, after this foreign currency speculators and troubled international banks demanded that the Thai government pay back its loans. So, it made the ASEAN more unified and coordinated because of this thing that happened during that time. So, actually, class, one of the reasons for forming regional associations is due to international trade, okay? Where states create groups for the purposes of trade and to collectively reduce barriers of trade among the members of a group, and of course, due to alliances, okay? That's why we need to form these different regional associations, okay? And another thing is that we have different contemporary challenges to regionalism. Okay, we have the resurgence of militant nationalism and populism. Okay, so in every organization, there are conflicts and disagreement. and that is actually normal. But the challenge today is that the regionalism faces multiple challenges. Excuse. And the most serious of it is the resurgence of militant nationalism and populism. Okay? So the another thing is the dismantle of NATO. Okay? So it was formed to remember that NATO was formed to counterattack the USSR, okay? But the USSR was already dismantled, okay? And as of now, NATO is still intact and being led by the US, okay? So there are protests with regard to this NATO, especially the protests headed by Vladimir Putin of Russia to dismantle NATO, okay? And another challenge also is the Chinese occupation of the West Philippine Sea, di ba? There are so many countries already claiming the Philippine Sea. Andiyan ng China, okay? The last time Taiwan and even Japan is actually claiming, okay, that they own this portion of the Philippine Sea, okay? So if we talk about the world economy, okay, which is either north or south, okay, they interact with these different types of market. Okay, so the world economy exclusively to human economic activity, and the world economy is typically judged in monetary terms, even in cases in which there is no efficient market to help evaluate certain goods or services, or in cases in which a lack of independent research or government cooperation makes establishing figures difficult, okay? So whether it is legal or illegal, okay, in terms of market, so pareho lang yang nararanasan ng North and South, okay? So we have this what we call the black market. So a black market, which is also known as the underground economy or the shadow economy, is a clandestine market or series of transactions that has some aspect of illegality. Okay, so lahat ng mga illegal activities, okay, this is what we mean by the black market. Okay, so why? Ba't ba nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na black market? Because tax evasion or participation in a black market activity is illegal, okay? Participants will attempt to hide their behavior from the government or regulatory authority, okay? So yung mga cash usage, okay, is the preferred medium of exchange in illegal transactions since cash usage does not leave a footprint, di ba? So common motives for operating in black markets are nandiyan yung to trade contraband, okay? So yung mga avoid taxes and regulations or skirt price controls or rationing. So lahat halos ng mga illegal activities in the market, yan. Ito yan. Dito yung tinatawag nating black market. So transaction that has some aspect of illegality or is characterized by some form of non-compliant behavior with an institutional set of rules. Okay, then we have also what we call the gray market. Okay, so gray market or gray market as in G-R-E-Y or G-R-A-Y market. Okay, sometimes it was really confusing with the similar term parallel market. Okay, so when we say gray market in economics in which the goods are legal and original but sold outside normal distribution mediums by real organizations, okay? But this gray market, they have no relation whatsoever with the original producer of the product. So a parallel market is an unofficial market for shares, okay? Also foreign currencies, stocks, okay, which works at the same time as the official market, okay? So this can be seen commonly or seen mostly in the black market activities, okay? So parallel markets mean that a country has less control over its economy, okay? So these products are traded outside the manufacturer's channel. Okay, so the manufacturers that produce products, okay, halimbawa including computers, telecom, and technology equipment, okay, they often sell these products through distributors, and most distribution agreements require the distributor to resell, okay, the products strictly to end users, okay. But however, some distributors choose to resell the products to other resellers, okay. So also certain arcade games, okay, are marketed under the different titles. Halimbawa, especially titles from Japanese companies. Diba, if you will notice when certain arcade games are first powered on, a warning message is shown such as halimbawa, this game is intended only for sale and use in this country or region, di ba? One reasons for regional variations is yung tinatawag na trademark issues, okay, in different regions. So, someone else could already own the rights kaya may nag-a-appear na ganun. Then another example, halimbawa, is yung automobile manufacturers, di ba? Although some gray imports are a bargain, okay, some buyers have discovered that their vehicles do not meet local regulations or that parts and services are difficult to obtain. Why? Because itong mga sasakyan na to are different from the versions sold through the new car dealer network. Okay? So, among the gray imported vehicles in Japan are pickup trucks like halimbawa Toyota, okay, Tundra, Nissan Navara, and Subaru Brat, okay, which are not actually officially sold in Japan, okay. Also, Netflix, okay, Netflix, if not available in other countries or their movies, di ba, the consumer who wants access may approach a gray market reseller, okay. Then we have the white market. So the white market is the legal, official, authorized, or intended market for goods and services. So white market in libertarian economic theory is the legal or sabi ko nga official, authorized, or intended market. So everything is according to the norms of moral, legal, and ethical code of conduct. So yun yung white market. Okay, so everything is according to the norms. Then pink market, pink market is of state sanctioned, okay, but immoral activities such as wars of aggression, okay, so it is the market of government endorsed monopolies and oligopolies of useful services. Usually class pink market, it controls the flow of useful services to create wars and panic, okay, so siya naman yung tinatawag nating pink market. While the red market, okay, the trade of human flesh and blood in the form of sex racket, child trafficking, organ selling, okay, either without the consent of an individual or forcefully, okay. So red market may refer yung mga organ trade, okay, trade of human organs and tissues, yan, gaya ng mga nabanggit ko, child trafficking. So the term red market in counter economics meaning market of violence, okay, and theft, okay, kasi nga, di ba, walang consent ng individual, okay, so it was theft because it was not approved by the state, okay. Red market is of immoral activities that banned by the state, okay. So in terms of red market, okay, red market might also mean the wet market in China, okay, where the trading goods involved are meat, fish, seafood, poultry products, flowers, vegetables, basically perishable products, okay. So that is in China, okay. So that will be all for today, class. So these are my reference. I hope you'll be able to learn something from our this lesson. So on our next synchronous session, we will discuss about the continuation of this topic, the world of regions. Okay, so that will be all for today. Thank you, everyone.